everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Sparks, Entertainment and Art, where we explore so many dimensions of the band Sparks. People who are familiar with the show know that there are certain things that really fascinate me, and one of them is the way all of us fans hear their music and put our own personal stamp on it and see it from a different prism. And a lot of that is facilitated by the fact that Ron and Russell never really talk about what their music means or what they're trying to do. And that's one of the great mysteries and one of the great exciting things that we celebrate on this show. And today we are going to talk to my sister, Dorie Rosenberg, who is a licensed mental health therapist. She has been practicing for almost 35 years, right, Dorie?
32.
32 years. So she knows what she is talking about. And I just thought it would be kind of fun to talk to you, Dorie, about some of your thoughts about this this phenomenon that I've experienced for well over 50 years. But I think in the internet age, it really becomes clear because there's so much more communication among the fans. So let me just say hello to you and welcome you to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Well, it's absolutely great to have you. And I think I laid it out a little bit in my introduction that I'm fascinated by how all of the fans hear the band in kind of a very unique way. And I just thought it would be great to hear a little bit about that from your professional perspective, especially because you personally aren't like a big crazy fan of the band, like your little brother, right?
I'm thinking that why does this remain such a mystery? It's sort of like, even though you know that each person brings their own perspective to it, why does that work to make it grow? And everybody who's a fan becomes like a cohesive. There's something cohesive and yet individualistic.
Yeah, it's almost two different impulses, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, paradoxical in a way. Um, well, everybody does bring their own individual self, the way their brain is wired. So their unique personalities and temperaments, but also their experiences from the past and how they coped with them or handled them or enjoyed them. Not only that, they bring their own interests to it. So all these things and more contribute to every individual having a unique take on interpreting the same situation or song.
So, Dorie, one of the really interesting things about the band when you talk to fans and even critics and others with whom I've spoken is that they often see them as transcending pop music. They see them as much more than that, and they see them as like true artists who have who express themselves in a way that is very artistic, high level, and that. And I'm just wondering how that idea in your mind plays into what you're saying.
I bet there's a lot of truth to it. Um, they're both smart boys. They went to UCLA, and 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 didn't they go to England because they thought that the English bands were much more creative and unique and had and less mainstream than American bands. So they
It's
were
true.
already on. Is that true? So
Pretty
they
much,
already
yeah.
had an idea that it was a little bit boring, the music scene here. It was, and they wanted it to be. Maybe they just knew they had creative drama in them.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But so if we coming back to some of the themes we were talking about at the beginning, is there a term for it? I mean, it really is like everybody imprints their own personality onto what they're hearing and their own experience, right?
Exactly. That's just exactly right. And also the cultural venue that they grew up in. I mean, look at just to give an example for that is look at two people from two different countries, and they might be trying to talk, but there's going to be so many misunderstandings.
Hmm.
Um, Even different cultures within this country.
Yeah, well, we see that in our politics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's what brings us to the paradox. It's kind of ironic that music is so universal because it means something different to each person.
Yeah.
And the more people who can give their interpretation or can access a feeling or a mood or an attitude when they hear some music, they become kind of like that's how they become the fans. They like to listen to it.
Yeah.
And so that's the ironic thing that the more different people who are listening and enjoying it, it also socially fosters a sense of connection and community, you know?
Obviously they're not talking to everybody, right? They're not talking to everybody. But yet everybody, well, not everybody, but so many people feel that they are talking to them directly. And we had a person who was a self-defined neurodivergent on the show. And he talked about how their music seems to be coming at him from the perspective of people who get it or maybe even are neurodivergent. And he was very clear, self-defined. He wasn't trying to speak for the entire community.
I
But
watched it.
oh, okay. Yeah,
And
Dr.
the
Jonathan Dean. He was great.
Yeah,
And that's such an interesting aspect of it, isn't it?
yeah, because you know, we as human beings, we all want to feel a sense of belonging. And if he's under that umbrella and he knows he's with other people, it's really comforting. It's you don't feel so isolated. And so talk about neurodivergent, that's just like the way he's wired. And
Hmm.
people are like that.
But I want to go back to your earlier point about that sense of belonging. Because I remember when I was a little kid, or not a little kid, when I was 14, in my teens and I heard them, and I didn't really know it, but I felt like it was giving me something that, as I would occasionally meet other Sparks fans in those days, it did give you that sense of belonging. And then with the internet, you really got that sense that there was a community out there of people who really got this band.
That's true. And it's kind of a special community because if you don't get that band, you don't belong to that community.
Yeah, yeah. But it's a very open community. That's one of the great things about it.
And so when people listen to music that they like, sometimes it increases maybe a positive feeling and reduces negative ones like anxiety or stress because somehow this music just maybe that's like the wiring just matches up
Hmm.
and and it just works. Yeah, it's a cellular connection between the neurons.
Wow. So this is something you've encountered before, and you've obviously given this some thought.
Well, for me, I love listening to classical music to feel calm.
Hmm.
And I really didn't know why, or why does like Brahms' Third Symphony just touch me. It just feels right when I'm listening.
Hmm.
And I still don't exactly know why, but maybe that's it. Maybe it just goes the way my neurons fire. And it's so relaxing.
It just makes you feel a little bit better knowing that there are people out there who are looking at the world from such a unique perspective. And if you're somebody who looks at the world from what you consider to be a unique perspective, it kind of hits home.
And each individual is unique. That's why it works.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Ron and Russell are unique. And you followed them for how many years?
1974. So I'm on the Midnight Special.
Oh,
Or
what's that?
75. Yeah.
There's
So,
so many aspects to them because they're they're kind of weird, kind of funny, but also they're kind of sophisticated in their uh in the thoughts and ideas they make up, and they can be acerbic.
oh, yeah. Yeah. So, from your perspective as a professional therapist, what's a couple thoughts that you want to leave us with?
Well, I would say that the main conclusion I've come to is that the more individual, unique, different ways people interpret the songs, the more cohesive the fan base grows.
Hmm. So it's that sense of connection that really hits home to you.
Yeah, and you don't always have to know why you're connecting. It's your interests. It could be your attitudes. It's things that have all the bits of personality that make you you.
So Dory, I've known you for 64 years now, and I'm always impressed with your depth of knowledge and information. This has been such a fun talk. This has been not only fun though, but really informative and helps me shape my thinking about all of these issues. And I know a
Oh,
lot of
good.
people are going to really enjoy hearing this.
Oh, I hope so. It was a pleasure. It's
Well,
always
thank you for joining me.
my pleasure.
I'll see you
Really.
soon.
See you soon.
All right, talk to you soon. Bye bye.
Bye.